only you and your fellow qualified people. Incidentally, this idea was rife in the early 20th century among right-wing intellectuals. T.S. Eliot, for example, and all his friends believed that only a few people were qualified for culture. I do not believe that. I believe, even though it might be a minority, anybody can be qualified.
Are you still a man of the left?
Yes. I'm on the fundamental old-fashioned left that believed in workers' rights. My mother and father were both proletarians. They both worked on the production lines in the 30s if they could get work. The Depression hit Australia very hard. My father went off to the war and never came back. My mother was always poor, brought me up on a war widow's pension. You bet I was on the left. In Australia, we have a concept called the fair go, which is built into the system. It's linked to the basic wage and so on. If you treasure these things as I do, you're on the left. You're on the left forever.
I'm there because my father made the most money in his life, $100 a week, when he joined the union. That was the last 6 jobs. And you know, you and I both came of age when it seemed that nothing was too good for the working man.
I still think workers need protection. I'm still left on that in that sense. It's the fashionable left that bothers me.
By that you mean?
I would call it the pseudo-left, which is automatically thinks that the root of all evil is in Western civilization. It's not necessarily true. In fact, it's not even half true.
But on the right, they criticize you if you are critical of Western civilization and America and democracy because they think you hate America. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that critical faculty of criticism and self-correcting that is the genius of our society.
Yes,
right?
it is. And you've got to be looking 2 ways if you give any opinion, you know, because you've got to be careful who's agreeing with you, for one thing.
What kind of God would you have reinvent Western civilization?
Well, I wouldn't, because God didn't invent it in the first place. This doesn't make me an atheist. I don't want to be defined as an atheist any more than I want to be defined as someone who drinks water. To me, the fact that there is no heavenly power that intervenes has been obvious since I was a kid. If there had been, it would have brought my father home. If there had been a heavenly power that could intervene, that power would have saved the children from the death camps. 1.5 million children were being exterminated for no reason at all when I was their age. I never got over it. I still haven't got over it. Of course there's no heavenly force that intervenes. But on the other hand, there is a religious sense. I think that all the arts and everything to do with them are a heavenly order. I experience them as a heavenly order. And if there was a heavenly power, what would he or they do to fix Western civilization? I don't know. Never allow the possibility that there could be any limitation on the right to vote, is what I say.
Your father was an Australian soldier,
yeah,
captured by the Japanese.